Well, hello everybody out there and welcome to another random video. And in today's video, I want to talk about blacklight posters. I want to tell you, in my opinion, what makes a good blacklight poster a good blacklight poster. And I also want to show you some vintage blacklight posters and some modern day blacklight posters. And I just want to explain what I like and don't like about either one of these posters. So let's get to it. So first off, let's start off by looking at a very popular vintage blacklight poster, the tree house. Now, unfortunately, I don't have this poster because otherwise I would show you a really nice close-up video of this poster. But, this is just the beginning of the video, so stay with me. But yeah, this poster is a really, really great blacklight poster. It looks really absolutely awesome. It has nice details. The colors are nice. It is absolutely fascinating. I don't know if I would really spend something like $400 or $500 on a poster like this. I don't know if that's really worth it, but it is definitely a really, really great poster. And there is a company, one of the most well-known companies that is still making blacklight posters today, is a company named Scorpio Posters. And they, to a certain degree, they also take some of the old designs from some vintage blacklight posters and they modify them a little bit and reuse some of those ideas. So they also have a treehouse poster, and this is what it looks like. Now, in my opinion, it looks ugly. It looks absolutely terrible. I don't like the artwork, but the thing that I really don't like about this poster are the colors, because it looks very uninviting. It looks extremely cold, doesn't it? For some reason, everything in this poster looks as if it's been frozen. Why? Why did they choose that color? Why didn't they use some warm colors? I mean, it's supposed to give you a nice and warm feeling. I mean, if you think of a tree house, especially something like this, which is almost a mansion inside a tree, you think of something inviting, something cozy, or something like that. But no, they decided to use all those cold colors. It just doesn't really look that great. And they have other posters that suffer from a similar problem. So, for example, take a look at this poster. Now, here, without the blacklight, the colors look nice. And you would also expect those colors to pop and really glow under blacklight. You would expect some really nice red glowing colors, like, for example, the mushrooms. And you would also expect some nice green. But no, this is what it's supposed to look like under blacklight. What happened here? Seriously, where did all the nice bright colors go? Why does this poster look so incredibly cold under blacklight? It's like one of those examples where the poster looks better without the blacklight, which is a very terrible thing if it's supposed to be a blacklight poster. It's supposed to look better and more fascinating under blacklight than under normal light, but here it's basically quite the opposite. So I don't know what happened here. Is it just a bad picture? I mean, this picture was provided by the company itself, so they think that this picture would be an accurate representation of what this poster looks like under blacklight. But I don't know what happened here. Did they really use some colors that didn't really glow under blacklight, or maybe to a certain degree the problem is that they were using LED blacklight? Because, and I mean, even if they would have used some LED blacklight, which they obviously did, in my opinion, it shows that they don't really seem to know what they are doing at this point, because if you know something about blacklight and blacklight posters, especially as a company, you should know that you shouldn't be using LED blacklight. Why? Because LED blacklight is creating too much ambient light. The problem with LED blacklight is that it gives off way too much light that is still visible to our human eyes, which kind of ruins the whole effect. The idea of blacklight and blacklight posters is that the light source is giving off ultraviolet light, which is supposed to be mostly invisible to our human eyes. But as soon as this light is being reflected by some UV active neon colors, that's when the light becomes more visible to our human eyes. And this is why it looks as if the posters are glowing, as if they are producing their own light, because the light that is being reflected by those posters looks brighter to our eyes than the light that comes from the original light source. So yeah, that's why you should avoid LED blacklight, because as of right now, it just gives off way too much light that is still visible to our human eyes. So the best blacklight effect can still be achieved by those fluorescent tubes. And they should know that. I mean, they are a company making blacklight posters, so they should know those kinds of things. So yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking. And also another thing that I don't like are blacklight posters like this. I don't like it when they just take an ordinary picture, or maybe even in this case a photograph, and just add some neon colors to turn it into a blacklight poster. What is it? What is this? What is the idea behind this? It just doesn't look good. It kind of reminds me of trying to turn an ordinary movie into a 3D movie, even though the movie wasn't originally shot in 3D. The result is never going to be as great as a movie that was really shot in 3D. I don't know, it just doesn't look that great. And, it's not that I don't like this company. They do have some really great blacklight posters. Like the Gargoyle and the Mummy and various other posters. So they do have some great blacklight posters, but I just chose those posters to show you what you shouldn't be doing. The kind of things that you should avoid if you make a blacklight poster. And I just, to a certain degree, sometimes I think that people don't really understand what makes a good blacklight poster a good blacklight poster, and they don't understand that you should play around with those glowing colors and with the light. So, for example, as you may or may not know, I also do have those Futurama blacklight posters, and I have kind of mixed feelings about those posters as well. I mean, what I like about those posters is the fact that they used some really nice, really awesome colors. The colors are really bright. They glow really strong. Those posters glow like crazy. So yeah, this is something that I like. What I don't like is the fact that basically everything glows in those posters, which is kind of like a bad choice in my opinion, because if everything glows, it means that there isn't really anything that really stands out. There isn't anything that really pops, in my opinion. So sometimes when it comes to blacklight posters, I would say less is more. And I'm going to show you some very great examples, especially when it comes to vintage posters, where that really works, where that is really true, that less is more. But yeah, for example, take a look at this poster. Imagine what it would look like if the space, between the spiral, if that would have been black, how much more everything would automatically pop. It would look a lot better, don't you think? It would have a completely different effect. And the thing is, they basically just took some Futurama comic covers and replaced the original colors with some neon colors to turn them into blacklight posters. But that alone doesn't make those posters great blacklight posters, because, like I said, you should also play around with the color and with the glowing effect. So I would say it would have been better if they would have used some other covers with things in those pictures that would normally glow, like laser beams or explosions or things like that. Why didn't they do that? For example, take a look at this poster. So there you have a lot of things that would normally glow, like the stuff around the professor's head, and also the lava up here, or is it magma? I always forget what is what, but that stuff would look really awesome. Also, the fire down here. So you have things that would normally glow, and it would make sense to turn something like this into a blacklight poster. Or, for example, take a look at this picture. Now that would have been absolutely awesome for a blacklight poster. The lights on the UFOs, and also the beams coming from those UFOs. Why didn't they use this? Seriously, there would have been so many great Futurama comic covers that would have been perfect as a blacklight poster, but no, they chose those ones. Why? It just, in my opinion, it just doesn't really make sense. So now let me show you some vintage blacklight posters and what makes those posters so special and so great. So the first poster that I want to look at is this poster called Wizard. I don't know why they just called it Wizard instead of Pinball Wizard or something like this, because, yeah, it's a pinball machine. There is no wizard unless the guy would be a pinball wizard. So why did they forget the word pinball? I don't know, but this shows you how to make a great blacklight poster, because first of all, the background. Look at the background. It's not as bright as the rest of the poster, which makes everything else pop even more. It makes the pinball machine and the guy and also the words stand out. It makes those things pop. Nothing would pop that much if the background would glow just as bright as everything else. It just wouldn't work. And you can see this very clearly if you take a look at the cigarette. It looks absolutely awesome the way the cigarette is glowing. It wouldn't glow or it wouldn't pop that much if the background would be just as bright as the cigarette. Also, the fact that the cigarette is white but it doesn't glow. It's really only the front of the cigarette that glows, just like in real life. That is the right way to do it. Also, I like those little highlights on the pinball machine, like on the legs of the pinball machine. You have very little glowing stuff. It just looks good. Also, another really nice detail, look at his shoe. The way how the bottom of his shoe glows. And the fact that they put this glowing shoe against the dark background or the black floor. This makes the shoe glow and pop even more. And it pops even more because the white on the shoe doesn't really glow, even though it's white, but it's the kind of white that doesn't glow under blacklight, which makes the bottom of his shoe glow and stand out even more. that's a great decision. That's really nicely done. And just to show you how well or how much you can play around with neon colors, just take a look at the smoke coming from the pinball machine. Now, again, the smoke is white, so they could have used a kind of white that would glow under blacklight so that the entire smoke would glow, but that wouldn't look good. Instead, they chose a white that doesn't glow under blacklight, and this gave them the ability to put little neon colors here and there so that it looks as if there is something glowing inside the smoke. It gives the whole thing a lot more depth. It looks so kind of ominous and so cool. It's those kinds of details that people nowadays just don't really pay any attention to. They would just make everything glow and think it would be a good blacklight poster. No, it wouldn't be a good blacklight poster only because everything glows. Sometimes it's better to make things not glow and then just put little details here and there. That's far more impressive because, especially when it comes to the smoke, you don't expect that. When you look at the poster under normal light, you just don't expect something glowing inside the smoke. But when you turn on the black light, it's kind of like a little surprise all of a sudden. So, yeah, that's what makes this poster a really great poster. And also, another important thing is the choice of paper. You can see that it's printed on white paper. But first of all, the paper is kind of matte or raw, or I don't know what I should call it, but the paper isn't glossy. There is nothing glossy, there is nothing that would really shine. Now, the Futurama posters, for example, if you take a look at those posters, they are glossy. Why? Why did they choose glossy paper to make blacklight posters? And I think they are not flocked, which basically means that everything that is black is also covered with something that doesn't really reflect light so that everything pops even better. But no, in those Futurama posters, everything that isn't covered with neon colors is shiny. So it reflects light. It's not a good choice. It's another bad choice that they made. But the good choice is the frame or the border. So for example, going back to the vintage Wizard poster, it's printed on white paper. So you have this white border around that poster. But the good thing is they choose white paper which doesn't really glow under blacklight. So it's not that much of a problem. But if you turn those Futurama posters around, you can see they printed those posters on white paper which really glows under blacklight, which is actually a very poor decision. But at least they knew that it's kind of like a poor decision, so they found a way to solve this problem by printing the entire front of the poster. So we have this really nice black border around the poster. So there is no white border that glows. So that was a good decision. So now let's take a look at another really great vintage blacklight poster. This one. This poster is called Ominous Mansion. And it's by far my most favorite, it's my most favorite blacklight poster ever. And I was so glad and so lucky when I found this poster. And, it already looks absolutely gorgeous even without the blacklight. It looks absolutely amazing. I love those kinds of posters. And it's also something that you don't see nowadays anymore. Back in the 70s or whenever, they had a bunch of blacklight posters with like the tree house or this mansion, but also various different castles. So I don't know why they don't do that kind of stuff anymore nowadays. But yeah, this looks really amazing. But now let's take a look at what it looks like under blacklight. But before we take a look at this poster under blacklight, I have to mention that unfortunately, the blacklight effect isn't really that strong. So it's kind of ironic that it's the coolest blacklight poster that I have, but at the same time, it is the one with the weakest blacklight effect. So the colors aren't nearly as bright as the colors on the pinball poster, and they are definitely not as bright as the colors on those Futurama posters, which is kind of a sad thing. But yeah, that's why I had to move the poster and the light source closer together in order to achieve a really good blacklight effect. But it's just something that you have to be aware of when you want to buy this particular poster, that the blacklight effect isn't really that strong because those neon colors aren't really that bright. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. So now let's take a look at this poster under blacklight. And oh boy, does that look amazing or what? It looks absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I don't even know where to begin. Now, first of all, the windows. I think it was a very, very good decision that not all windows are lit up. So that makes the windows where you have light stand out even more. They are kind of almost like eye catchers in a way. Also, on this poster, you can see the most important thing about blacklight posters. If you have something that glows, you need to have a black background. It's kind of like the same thing with the guy's shoe that I showed you in the other poster. You need a black background or something black around the thing that is supposed to glow, like the fans. Here you have the nice glowing fans and you have a black background. Also the trees. The trees, they are actually black with a little bit of highlights put on them, which makes those glowing highlights pop. It makes them stand out and glow. That's a really good decision. Also the lightning back here, it's a really great decision. I also love the fact that they didn't use white or gray clouds. No, instead they used those really nice black clouds, which makes all those little highlights in the clouds really pop. It makes those things really glow nice and bright. That looks really awesome. This is the way how to make a great blacklight poster. Also, this, I don't think that it's a lightning rod, but this pole right here, this really stands out. It really pops because they put this black cloud behind it. And they made sure that the black cloud is behind the entire pole so that it really stands out. But the really great detail is the moon. I mean, they could have just painted a moon just like that. But no, they wanted the moon to really pop. So what did they do? They put a black border around it. So this way it really pops. So instead of just making some kind of a yellow moon, they made a yellow moon with a black border around so that it pops even more. And it's those little details that are so important when you make a blacklight poster. And I really hope that this video might help some people that are making blacklight posters to make better blacklight posters, to make better choices and better decisions. And also what I really love, look at the porch light. I really love this kind of effect. I love, like the fading of brightness. I love that the light is getting more dim the further you move away from the light source, or the further away you move from the light source. It's also a kind of thing that you don't really see that often, especially in modern day blacklight posters, that they made the colors so that it looks as if the brightness is fading as you move further away from the blacklight, from the light source. It's all those little details that make those kinds of blacklight posters really good, amazing blacklight posters. Now, I know that not all blacklight posters from the 1970s were that great. I mean, there were a lot of posters that were basically kind of like those Futurama blacklight posters, where you basically just have flat surfaces that are covered with neon colors, and that's it. There are a lot of posters where they didn't really play with the glowing and with those colors. I know that. But, I just think that makes those kinds of posters even more special, because they show you how amazing blacklight posters can be. They show you that blacklight posters can really be some kind of an art form, and it shows you the potential the potential of those great posters. And yeah, it shows you that people back then really, I don't know if blacklight was a new thing in the 90s, or if they in the 70s, or if they really just started making those blacklight posters because it fitted very well with this hippie and psychedelic era. I don't know, but yeah, they really tried to get the best out of some of those posters. And it really shows they really thought about certain things, and they were trying new things. And yeah, that's what I really love about those posters. So yeah, I really hope that you like this video. I hope people that are making blacklight posters feel inspired. I hope that those people that think about getting a blacklight posters now know what to look out for and maybe make a better choice. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. And also, if you want to know where this Beetlejuice blacklight poster came from, the link is down in the description. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next random video. Bye.